Hello, my vacation rental friends. I am here with Beth Carson from Vacation Rental Travel, is an online magazine, a digital magazine for vacation rental travelers and owners. It's fantastic, and I want to get into a conversation with her today. So say hello to Beth. How are you, Beth?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing very, very well, thank you. So first of all, let's start off with the most original question of all time. How did you get started in the vacation rental business?
Well, like most people, by accident. I had been to about 35 countries when I visited Fiji as a travel agent. And we were on a fam trip, which is where you work from 7 in the morning till 11 at night, visiting properties, schmoozing. And as an introvert, it's just exhausting. You don't have that time to regenerate and go read for a while. And then and I liked Fiji, it was fine. And then we took a trip to the very northern tip of the country, and I fell in love. It was choirs singing behind me, the stars aligned. I mean, I was just hopeless and helplessly in love with this spot on Earth. It was the first place on the planet that I didn't feel like I needed to do anything. I love Europe. I love architecture, art history, cafes, checking things off my list. And in Fiji, I just felt like I could do nothing. And so fast forward a few years, I was still thinking about it. And I was able to work out the finances, and I came back on a 6-day trip by myself and tromped around and found the lot I wanted and designed a home, built it, and we had our first guests were a month-long visit in 2005.
Wow, okay. So Fiji, you started right off with a bang and went straight for Fiji. That's pretty cool. So what's the hardest part though of owning a place in Fiji?
Well, I call myself the accidental investor, and in Fiji, the resort was supposed to rent it out for me, and I was supposed to be completely hands-off and then just come and visit January through March. They promised me 25% occupancy, which is miserable, and about half of what they brought in. Now, while it was being built, the resort was sold. And I was weeks into this new marriage, and all of a sudden I had a business overseas, and I didn't know what to do with it. And that's when I discovered the vacation rental industry and what you can do to increase your sales. My first reservation was a month long, and I charged $500 a week, so that was $2,000. And I just recently had a reservation for 4 nights for $1,800. So I've learned the secret sauce of how to bring customer delight, how to give them the wow factors that they want, and how to convey that so I can get the sales and then they leave happy. But the hardest part is just not being there. It's 24 hours for me from Asheville, North Carolina, which is where I live, and I apologize for the background, but we're just up here for technical issues, but this is my catch-all modem room. But it's 24 hours from Asheville, North Carolina to my home in Fiji, and it's just miserable. And so when things go wrong, I really have to rely on my staff to make the guests happy, and they're awesome at that. But it's taken me years to instill Western values and customer delight into their mindset. It's taken me a long time, and I just love my staff.
So you definitely have to rely on them to do things even without your approval or your input, I would imagine, right?
Yes, my manager, who I have really come to trust, has authority that when something goes wrong, let's say maybe an air conditioner breaks, and it's going to take us, maybe it's in the evening and it's going to take us till the next day to get it fixed, he can give them a boat ride, which is worth 120 US. He can give them that, take them to an island, deserted beach, set them up with a picnic, or he can give them a lovo, which is where you cook everything in an underground oven with white hot rocks and then have the band boys come over. So he is really good at just instantly when there's a problem coming up not only with the solution, but something to compensate them for their trouble.
Nice. Totally take their mind off it, get them in another direction, take the stress away. Beautiful. I love it.
Yes, yes.
Very cool. So, I mean, tell me a little bit more about Fiji. How often do you get to go over there, and do you actually use it yourself for your own vacations, or is that?
Oh, yes. Yes. I get over about every 9 months, and I do what I call muling things. And I'm a pack mule when I go over to Fiji. I pack in a carry-on all the stuff that I need, and then I get 3 huge suitcases that I fill to about 49.5 pounds each, because 50 pounds is the cutoff. And then anybody who comes with me, I get at least 2 suitcases out of them. And I go to TJ Maxx and I get Ralph Lauren linens, and I get beautiful silver bobbly things that I just can't get over there. I can't bring any electronics because the voltage is different. But yes, and I try to enjoy my stay as much as possible, but I joke that I've taken paradise and turned it into a job, which, you know, the staff's always eager for my input and my kudos, and they want to show me this and that, and they want to spend time with me and have me over for dinner, and so I try to be very careful and have a good balance between work and relaxation, which is what it was originally for.
Great, great. And then, so what's your main marketing method for? Is it? I know you have a website, but do you do the listing sites, and what's your kind of your marketing mix for filling a place up?
I'm on VRBO, HomeAway, and Flipkey. And I've been on other smaller sites, kind of Australia, New Zealand sites, and in some years they've produced well, and in other years they haven't. So right now, those are the only 3 that I'm on. And, of course, my own website, which, because I've had it for almost 10 years, has really good Google juice. And I'm up fairly high for organic rankings.
Great, great. Also, you wrote a book, Money Making Vacation Rentals. So what was the inspiration behind that, and tell us about your book?
Well, the inspiration was twofold. One, I found great success in doing things well, and then I saw other people could do better. You know, things like really good photos and videos and copy and customer service. And then the other part of it was sheer frustration as a traveler trying to book a vacation rental. It can make you want to pick your laptop up and use it as a frisbee. When owners don't get back to you. Yeah, it's just a miserable, miserable way to go about doing business when you send out a bunch of emails and then people don't bother to reply. It's insensitive, it's rude, it wastes my time. And I have to say, I love the Book It Now and the, you know, whatever it's called on the different portals, because I can make a reservation, and I know they have 24 hours to decline the reservation, but I've never had that happen. It's usually just my husband and my daughter and I traveling, so it's not like we're a group of 25. But I will select only the people that have that enabled and not even bother with everybody else. And so I hope to see more of that in the future.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I'm a big proponent of all the things that make it easier for guests and less painful, because to me that's part of the whole process. And if you make that painful, you know, what's the rest of the trip going to be like?
Yeah, well, I won't even bother. Yeah, if they don't get back to me in a timely fashion, they're out.
So you're also, of course, the editor of Vacation Rental Travels. So
Yes.
let's talk about that. Tell us, you know, what's the idea behind it and where you're going with it.
Well, as you know, vacation rentals are now account for about 20% of the accommodations in North America, which is huge. We're now up there with the big boys. And a lot of people aren't aware of it. Now, we have the highest level of satisfaction in the industry. And so that means once people know about vacation rentals and they experience them, they're going to keep coming back. But my vision of this was to just promote them as a travel enhancing mode of accommodation rather than just four walls and a bathroom, and not to go with either luxury or budget, but across the board. I've seen shows where they give away trips to vacation rentals and it's $25,000 a week, and I think, wow, that that's a teeny tiny segment of the market, and I really wanted to show that whether your budget is $100 a night or a couple thousand a night, that there's something out there for you and it can really be more fun. So we have regular travel stories, we have home and garden features, not so much in the June one, but after that we will. And then we have a really fun section, expert panels, and you're part of that for the first two editions, and that's been really fun. So it's meant for travelers as well as owners, and it's all positive about the industry and just fun. We're on Kindle now, and you can also download it on our website. If you sign up for a subscription, which is free, you're part of the contest. And the drawing in June is for 2 nights at a loft in Asheville, and then we mix up smaller prizes with stays and vacation rentals. So if any of your readers want to either be covered, have their vacation rental covered, or be part of a prize drawing, have them email me at beth@vacationrentaltravels, and that's travels with an S.com.
Great, yeah, and I'll put that in the show notes so that people can, because there's the the blog that goes with the video, so all that information will be there for people to see. So, and you know what, I really want to point out too that I like the fact that you are showing other stuff other than the the multi-million-dollar homes,
Yes.
which those are sexy, of course, and everyone oohs and ahs at those, but like you said, that's just a very small percentage. That's not reality for most travelers. So It's nice that someone's actually highlighting the more, the normal stuff. It's still very cool and interesting, but just not ultra high end.
Right. Like my husband and I covered one that was in the first edition, and it was a walkout basement in St. Augustine, and it was $100 a night. But it suited our needs perfectly. It was just the two of us, and we literally parked the car and did not drive anywhere. We walked. We were a block and a half from Flagler College, and just everywhere we wanted to be. So, right, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a great experience, but then we also covered this, the only word I can think to properly describe it is a mini castle, and it was in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, and it was $1,000 a night, but it had 4 suites. So you divide that by 4 couples, and you're at $250 a night, and you're also walking distance to town. So, even though there are expensive properties, sometimes you can get them for a good deal.
Very cool. Definitely. No, that's fantastic, and I'd like to see the Kindle edition. That would be very, very cool to see as well. So.
Kindle edition, my hope was for it to be free, but because the file size is so big, they forced us to put a price on it for $1.99. So if you go to our website, it's free, but it just let us reach a different market. And so I did the first 5 days for free. They allowed me to do a free promotion, and we got 400 readers from that. And so the next time it's eligible for a free, they make you wait. I will definitely be doing it free as often as I can, but it's the exact same thing on our website.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. That's nice to know, though, that you were able to tap into a huge new market. We talked a little bit about where the industry is going. What are your specific thoughts on that? 2-part question, though.
Okay.
Where do you think it's going, and where do you hope it's going? Let's say in the next 5 years.
Well, I think where it's going is listing sites are going to be becoming more and more important. And I would like to see it the opposite, where your own website is more important. But I think they're becoming bigger and bigger and have so much standing on the search engines that you almost have to be on them. And So it is important, though, to have your own website and to create your own email list. And because Fiji's a bucket list for North Americans and Europeans, I keep them segmented, but for Australia and New Zealand, it's like they're Caribbean. So they're my more repeat guests. And
Right.
I don't bug my bucket list guests as often as I send an email out to, hey, we've got a last minute opening, would anybody like it? It's a special deal. So keep that list, because I just had my home in Fiji appraised, and it appraised for $200,000 higher because it was a business, because I had a website that went with it, because I have an email list, because I have forward bookings, than if it were just a house. And so really treat it as a business. Keep those emails. Keep in touch with people that you think are likely to come again, or that will have friends saying, wow, I want to go to Fiji, but I can't find the right place, and they'll forward your email to them.
That's a
So
great point in terms of, when you or if you ever decide to sell, that you can package that up as a business, and if you have all those assets, that increases the value of what you're selling.
it
I
does.
love that. Very, very good.
Now, I
Mm,
think I missed the second point of your question. Oh, where I want to see it going in 5 years
yes.
is that every single person takes credit cards, and every single person uses Book It Now, and every single vacation rental owner communicates with their guests most within 3 hours unless they're sleeping. And I always say, unless I'm in church or at the movies or sleeping, you'll get an answer from me really quickly. And it's usually the first one who responds who establishes that relationship and gets the attention. And so I just really like to see the industry be more professional and not as defensive as this is my house and are you going to mess it up, but welcoming. And what can I do to make your holiday better? Like, I do things like bring snorkel gear over with me in my 3 huge suitcases. And every year, one of the things I do is spend some time in the pool checking out the snorkel gear from the previous year and seeing what's usable and what's not. But I've just added a couple $100 worth of value to them because they can snorkel in the front yard, they can take it when they go on an excursion, and they don't have to pay extra for that. And so it's free, unlimited snorkel. I can get them on Amazon for $11.99 a set. But the value it adds to the guest to give them the freedom to say, hey, let's just go down in the front yard, the South Pacific Ocean, and let's go snorkeling. So I really want to see owners guest focused and their experience. My degree is in psychology, but I was a travel consultant, so I could stay home with my daughter when she was little. And it's the business of hopes and dreams. And I want to really see vacation rentals hold that carefully and really respect it. It's not just the money. It's all the dreaming time up until they get there, and then it's the very short window of time while they're there, and then it's all that sort of bragging time that becomes your happy space. You remember about it. And so I just want to see people really love on their guests and care about them.
Yeah, no, I love it. I agree with everything you said. And you also have I think 16 long-term rentals that are not vacation rentals. So I specifically wanted to find out why you didn't turn those into vacation rentals, and what that, tell us kind of that story.
Okay, I have 6 in another state, and they are certainly not vacation rental, and they're certainly not in an area that's good for vacation rentals. And I don't think there's a single vacation rental in that town. It's a very low-income town, and I got a steal on the building. And I used to be a rehabber, and I also got into that accidentally. But yeah, they're just in the location they are, and they're just not the quality that I would. They're good for one person living, and that's mostly what I have there. Then I have two 4 units in an area just outside of Asheville called Leicester, and we have toyed around with making them vacation rentals. Asheville went through some rezoning recently, and they are actually zoned to be rentals, and they have amazing long-term views of sunsets every night and mountain ranges. There's nothing in the way. However, I'm a little hesitant because unless I switched all of them over, and that's a pretty big dump in the market of 8 rentals, then it's mixed use, and it's not quite the feeling I'm going for. There's also no pool, no hot tub. There's no wow factor, and it wouldn't really be easy to build it in. Now, they're great as long-term rentals. The other thing is, in Asheville, so much of the market is log homes, is quaint cottages, or is urban lofts. And these don't fit in any of those categories. They've got 10-foot ceilings, 8-foot by 20-foot decks, designer kitchens, but they're a nice place to live. But they don't have the feeling that says Asheville. You know, I've come to the mountains, I've come to this really cool, eclectic, artsy place, and you know, for living, they're really good. I've got walk-in closets in all of the units and laundry in all of the units, but I don't know. I'd have to do some work, you know, and maybe install a gazebo and a large hot tub, but for right now, we're rented all the time, and I just have to think about how to make it really cool in Asheville. Now, my husband owns 5 acres. Well, we own it, but he inherited 5 acres of land that goes right down to a river, and we're looking at building a tree house there or some other kind of small quaint unit, and so we need to work out sewage permits, water, you know, electricity. We would need to bring all of that in first. It's just completely undeveloped land, but that is much better place, I think, for a vacation rental, and I think we could do that pretty inexpensively once we get all the utilities there, and that's going to be a big chunk to
Right,
do.
right. Cool. So essentially, then what you're saying is that you need to think about, you know, what you're doing, whether it's a vacation rental or long-term rental, before you buy it, because there are just certain areas where it just doesn't make sense to use a vacation rental, and there's certain areas where it definitely does, and then it's just a decision of do you do it that way or not.
Yes, in my book, Money Making Vacation Rentals, in one of the first few chapters, there's 6 things that you need to have to be, that property needs to have to make a great vacation rental. And so I can put those 6 things up on the show notes if you want. But yeah, not every property makes a good vacation rental. And you kind of, you know, if you fit a square peg into a round hole, you might be better off as a long-term property.
Definitely. Okay, well, fantastic. There was a giveaway that you wanted me to mention, so why don't you tell us about that?
Yes, I do what's called a flyover package, and I take a screenshot or screenshot video of me either looking at your listing or your website, and I'm very gentle. I say nice things, and then I'll give you a suggestion. I won't slam you, but if you would like me to give you really useful feedback on how to make your listing or your website stand out from the competition, I'm happy to do that, and Steve will tell you how you go about entering to win that.
Well, all right, Beth, is there anything else you would like to add before we close up shop for today?
I'm so proud to be part of the vacation rental industry, and I'm heading off to speak on vacation rentals in two different areas this week at two different conferences. And I love the energy between the experts. I love that it's not competitive and it's not one-upmanship, but it's a real true sharing of knowledge. And I just hope the industry continues in a positive, fun, uplifting direction, and that we don't become crazy competitive and try to squish each other down. I just love the energy in the industry, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
No, that is great. That's in fact kind of why I got into it myself too. Was I thought the people were amazing, and so I'm right there with you. And yeah, I'm happy that you are one of my fellow peeps in the industry. So it's
Yeah.
great.
Great, Steve. It was wonderful chatting with you today.